Hey friends, welcome into my channel. My name is Jackie Alves, and today I'm so excited to be talking to you about the facelift makeup trend that's been around for a few years now, but I'm gonna show you some really great techniques using a cream I've used on one side and really sculpting and using some great contour techniques. And I just used simple powder and concealer techniques on the other side. So whether you like to go advanced and you really love to get in there with your cream foundation and sculpt it out and get it sculpted and snatched and all the things, you can do that. But if you like to keep it simple using bronzers or contour powders, you can still achieve a beautiful look. So let's get cracking. I'm going to show you more things than you're even going to know what to do with today. So stick around. All right, so let's get going on this much needed facelift because gravity is working against me. Okay, so I have my all-in-one primer that I'm going to use, of course, because then I can use whatever foundation I want. Since this is a water-based primer, you can use it with any foundation. So I've already got great skincare done, lightweight moisturizer for today. I find that if I go a little lightweight when I'm going to do some good makeup, it helps the makeup last longer. Then, you know, I pile on all the good stuff at night. Now I'm even gonna get the primer underneath my eyes and on my eyelids because that's gonna help eyeshadow last longer. So let's do this. First, I'm gonna use just my regular matte foundation. This is a great formula because it's not super matte. It's actually like a velvety finish. Goes on really super easy. And I'm just gonna use one of my favorite foundation brushes by Real Techniques. You guys know I love that brand. Oh, crackers, I lost my mirror. That's okay, I'll use this one. You guys know I love the brand Real Techniques. They just have a great variety of brushes, and man, they're really easy to clean too. Probably my favorite eyeshadow brushes are by that brand. Okay, so I'm just doing half my face, so I'm being a little more careful than usual. Not getting a whole bunch underneath my eye, but definitely on my eyelid because that will naturally just brighten and also, again, helps your eyeshadow last longer. So half the face with the matte foundation. And blending it into the hairline gently. And in the cracks of the nose, of course. And I'll bring it down the neck too. You know, with that discoloration most of us have going on, you know, even if you don't have the redness on your chest, you probably have some discoloration if you're over 50. At least, you know, you've got a white neck and a tan face and a tan chest probably. I don't know if you guys feel that. Put in the comments what you struggle with. Let me know, do you have redness in your chest or, you know, a white neck and the rest is tan? What's going on with you guys? I don't know if you saw the last video I did on color correction, but man, it was super helpful with stuff like that. All right, so I've got half all the way down. And I'll go ahead and start my cream on the other side. All right, I've got the cream foundation. This one is by Jafra Cosmetics. I love this one. It's a beautiful cream foundation. Has vegan collagen. I'm gonna use the shade, oh shoot, what's it called? Golden Tan. Slipped my mind. It's early. And I'm just gonna start getting just a really sheer amount. I don't wanna get a huge, big pile of makeup because we're going to layer in order to try those lifting tips that I'm gonna show you today. But most of the time, like I said, when you see this on YouTube, Instagram, wherever you like to watch makeup videos, you're probably gonna see them making a bunch of stripes and then beating their face to death with a sponge to blend it all in. And I just am not gonna do that. I prefer a layering process when you're working with creams. Even when you're working with powder, I layer everything, but you know, instead of the wacky stripes, because I just don't see the point in that. I wind up blending it all together and it's great for effect. Looks great on camera in the process. Super fun to watch. But you know, that's That's what it's good for. Going along my jawline here. Just making sure I have a nice sheer layer. Now, if you like more full coverage, that's okay. Just add a little bit more. I just prefer to keep it a little sheer and not too much under the eyes, okay? I'm gonna go back with concealer, and it's gonna work as the brightening step that we're gonna do, the sculpting tricks I'll show you. But I definitely don't want concealer under my eyes right now. And I'll bring it down on my chest, and we'll be right back. All right, I've got a great like professional grade setting powder here. This is a photo set powder by Graftobian. I love them. That's a like kind of a professional brand a lot of makeup artists love. Whatever translucent powder you love though, is what I want you to set if you're going to choose the liquid side that I'm doing when I do. I'm gonna stack liquid and powder to do that lifting makeup and get the contouring. So if you're gonna do that, I want you to do foundation and then powder. What this is going to do is prepare your foundation to receive those powder products. Just a really lightweight dusting. This is a really fine powder, so it doesn't stack on itself. It just sets the foundation real pretty, nice and lightweight. But now on the other side where I've done cream, which by the way, notice the shades are fine. I use 2 different formulas with 2 different shades. So I hope that shows you it doesn't have to be so hard to choose foundation. Don't let it be overwhelming. Because probably if I did a stripe test or something, I would be like, oh, these don't even match. But once you get it on, blended in and covering up the red, you're like, whatever. So I'm gonna go in with my cream foundation right now, and I'm gonna use the shade Cappuccino. And this is the part I'm gonna sculpt and do the contour. Okay, so I'm gonna go in with a flat foundation brush. You can use a flat concealer brush. You can use whatever you want. You guys, if you want to use a sponge at this point, it's okay. I just don't like sponges for this because you wind up having to get the sponge wet, and then you're just introducing water into your product. So you're like, just putting water in with every single smash on your face. And then later you're like, why does my foundation look weird? Well, because you mixed water with it. So I'm gonna come right here. Now watch this. I'm gonna go from the top of my ear. I'm gonna bring it down towards the edge of my mouth, but I'm not bringing it down there. I'm gonna stop right at my cheekbone here, or where I wish I had one. And I'm gonna swoop it up towards my nostril. Darker on the outside, and I'm gonna fade toward my nose. Now the reason why I've used Cappuccino foundation, and you can use a contour stick, it's okay. Use a cream concealer stick if that's what you like, but make sure it's cream, not liquid. But the reason I chose Cappuccino is because it's a little bit more neutral. It's not quite an orangey brown. So darker toward the hairline. Now I've faded toward the nose. And because I'm doing a lifting, I'm not gonna scoop down super far. I just wanna make sure that I keep my cheekbone lifted. So it's not always about this, like sculpted and snatched. I mean, that's great, but I need a lift right here because like I said, gravity is on me. Like it's pulling me down. And I'm like, no, you can't have me today. Get off my face. So with gravity trying to pull my cheeks down, I've lost a lot of volume. I want to create some volume in my cheeks. So not just about this like lifting thing, I also need like a little bit of a plumping look too. So that's why I like to round up right here. If you've got ultra plump cheeks, I'm jealous, but also then maybe you can just do it a little bit straighter. Now I'm gonna come around here because I definitely wanna do the forehead just to bring in a little bit of the color, but also to minimize my forehead, you guys. I mean, that's a whole lot of real estate right there. It's going back into like, it's over there in India. I don't know. So I'm just gonna gently bring this around, but I'm leaving this white right here, okay? So I'm not bringing it all the way to meet. I wanna kind of fade it right where my brow is ending. So we're gonna leave this light and bright. Now here on my jawline, I like to focus completely underneath instead of creating a beard I don't really want to go on top, except where I have a little bit of a jowl working at the beginning of a jowl here. Now, if you have more than the beginning, if you have like the middle story of the jowl, just bring it up a little bit, a little half moon, so that what's going on here is you're bringing attention to this part. See that, like all of that lifting that's beginning, and I've so far just looked like I've splattered mud on my face, but you can see what's going on here. And now I'm gonna bring it down this way just to blend it in. Okay, so now that I'm happy with the placement of everything, I like what's going on, I'm gonna grab a little bit fluffier brush. This is actually a foundation brush, but it's larger, so it's gonna help me really kind of airbrush this in. You don't have to use two different brushes for this step, it's okay. If you prefer to keep it simple, I just like how well this is gonna blend, and I liked how the flat paddle brush helped me with placement of product. And look how talented I am with this. All right, now I'm gonna just start to back blend this a tiny bit. I'm not interested in completely fixing it at this point because I'm going back with some really beautiful cream blush. So on the top, I've just blended upward. Now I want to take the foundation brush that I was using and blend this out to keep this nice and light and bright, and blend the bottom side so it's not so abrupt. Now this is definitely creating an illusion. So trust the process, you guys. You know, we always say here on this channel, trust the process. You gotta trust it. Now blending this a little bit, I'll bring it down, making sure it's soft, okay? All right, now if I feel like, yeah, you know, I took a little too much off, I can go back with the same brush I was using and just put a little bit more of that cappuccino shade in there. So I've powdered this side. I've not yet powdered this side because I wanted to go to cream contour. So if you're choosing cream, do your foundation, do your primer, then your foundation, then your contour. But if you're gonna use powder, do primer, foundation, and powder, okay? Now I'm gonna go in with some blush, and I'm gonna hit this side with some cream. Now I'm gonna use a really pretty bright orange just to kind of freak you out, because it's like, what is this pumpkin? But sometimes you'll be shocked at how nice blushes look if you just give them a try. So right on top, I'm using that same flat paddle. You could use a different brush if you like, it's okay. I just like this one for placement. Right on top, right at my cheekbone, but on top of where I created that contour swoop right there. I always say you're like creating a bra for your cheekbone. It's gonna hold it up. So you've got a little swoop. Now you're setting the blush right inside of it. I'm gonna go back to the same brush I was using for my contour and just blending it into the contour. Bring it down, trust it. Trust this process, because we're gonna go in with a light cream concealer that's really gonna give these angles that we wanna see, okay? But we are doing a building process of layering rather than all the stripes and then hitting ourselves in the face with a sponge for half an hour. I know, it might not seem as fun. Let me bring this down a little bit. All right, I'm happy with how this is looking. I'm gonna just bring it up a little bit here. There we go. Now I'm gonna go to the powder side. So let's talk about this. We did primer, foundation, powder. Now we're gonna go in with powder contour. And if you've been watching me for any time at all, you've seen me do this. It's fairly simple. I'm gonna use a fluffy angled brush. This is just a nice blush brush. I'll go in with my lightest shade of brown here, powder contour, easy peasy. Same area, starting at the hairline, fade toward the nose, and bring it up. Same angle, top of the ear, swoop it up to the side of the nostril. And lift it up. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and buff a little bit here, making sure I've got a good kind of sculpted line there. Now let's do the hairline. And you can kind of see how much faster this goes as well. So you can see why I choose powder most of the time, especially here at the beauty bar when we're doing makeup for weddings and events. You know, we've got to be really aware of our time schedule. So sometimes quick and effective is the choice. Now bringing it down the neck, and I've sculpted out my jawline here. Some easy placement, bring it down the neck. And now I'm gonna hit that jowl and try to disguise it a little bit. And now we'll go in with a little bit of a peachy blush, mixing orange and pink together, and pop that right on top. All right, maybe the bridge of my nose a tiny bit. All right, so that's looking pretty like bronzed and sculpted. Not too bad. I like both sides. We get in the big mirror over here. Look all around, every mirror, check it out. But now let's go ahead and do a quick eyeshadow, brighten up the brow, do some mascara, and then we will get into the brightening step. So this is gonna be really key, you guys, stick with me. Okay, I'm doing a real quick eyeshadow. I've already put on the light cream shade. I'm gonna go into this medium brown shade with a nice fluffy crease brush. The reason I wanted to show you this is because darker on the outside and lifting it up towards the brow is going to add to the lifted effect. When we get to that concealer, that kind of brightening step with the concealer and really highlighting and sculpting that out. Lifting up your eyeshadow is really gonna help. Don't just keep it in your little crease right there and let it disappear. Really bring it up. And it doesn't matter if you get out of the lines and get wacky with it, because we'll clean it up with concealer. So huge advantage to waiting on that concealer step. So you guys, on the way here, I was listening to the radio and I heard some excellent throwback, like roller skating music, and it was Debbie Deb, and it was, when I hear music, it makes me dance. And I was just going bananas in the car. And it's so funny, we talk about music so much here on this channel, but you guys, I had total flashback of going to a skating rink. And I talk about this a lot because it's favorite pastime. But I remember like walking into the skating rink and you know, the smell of skates in the air, the laser beams everywhere, the people out there skating, and you just cannot wait to get out there and roller skate with people and just go in a circle for hours on end. I don't know, but you felt like the coolest thing ever. I don't know if any of you guys have that type of memory, but it was one of my favorite things to just get out there and just go as fast as I could. And I'm in the car this morning listening to the music, and I'm like, yes, I could do this. Like, I want to go roller skating again. I've been seeing a lot of TikToks with like these old dudes roller skating, old dudes like in their 50s and 60s like me, like you probably. And they're just out there killing it. You know, they're like across the roller skating rink and they're like slapping their roller skate and getting down, like all three of them together. And I'm loving it. And I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna go roller skating. I've got to find a rink. I can do this. And then I start laughing at myself because I know just last week I tripped over nothing. I don't even know what tripped me up. I was trying on some new sandals and rolled my ankle. And then I noticed that I'm sitting in the car listening to this music like I'm the coolest thing, right? And I realized I've got my hair in a bun, I've got my old lady driving glasses on, and I have my scoliosis back brace on. And then I was like, I don't know if I'm cool enough to get on the dance floor or the skating rink ever again in the history of ever. So never mind, I'll just be over here in my brain, remembering the good old days. All right, as you can see, I brought it up as far as I could without being ridiculous. Well, I don't know, ridiculous is fine too. And I'll take a little highlighter and put it on the inner corner, just a little shimmer, this pink one right here in the middle. So just whatever shimmer you like. It's just gonna highlight it up a lot. So instead of just being a flat cream color, it pops it out quite a bit. All right, I'm gonna do my brows quickly. And I wanna show you a trick with brows. Let me get a little brush. So with a slanted brow brush, and I'm gonna use a brow powder in one that matches my hair a little bit. I don't even know what color my hair is anymore. So I'm gonna go in with one that's called soft brown. And I'm accentuating the arch. I love these glasses because I can actually put them on and still get to my brows. Really super soft on the inner corner area. And then I will get a little more bold as I come out, but watch. I'm gonna lift the brow a little bit too. So I don't want you to bring your brow down and let it close off your eye. I want you to bring it up because that's gonna help with the lifting that we're working on, okay? So let me do the other one, and I'm gonna make sure that it comes out this way towards my ear instead of coming down and closing off my eyelid. All right, I'll be right back. All right, let's talk about eyeliner real quick. I'm just gonna use a pencil eyeliner. This is from NYX. It's really nice and creamy. Starting on the outer corner. Now this is that fat triangle technique, yeah, but let me show you something. Bringing it up on the outer corner, making that fat triangle, make it fade in toward the nose and totally disappear, is going to add to the lifted effect. It's going to change the angle of your eye from this to this. And then just totally disappear at the lash line. Really simple. Now, if you have problems with transferring eyeliner up onto your crease here, just try a gel liner, because you can still get a roll up that way. It doesn't have to be liquid if you're not good with that. Now, if you do a good liquid wing, absolutely do it. Get it, girl. But you can see how simple this is going on. Super skinny all along the lash line. All right, point it out. You don't have to create a wing or a point if you don't like that or if you're not good at it. Okay, mine's a little sloppy. But you know how I feel about stuff like that. I don't care. Because once I get this all done, you're not really gonna notice, oh my God, you're sloppy wing. I'm so disgusted. It's not gonna happen. You'll just be like, oh, you look amazing. Now I wanna take a little bit of eyeshadow and just go real quick on the bottom. Ooh, not that brush. I'm saving that one for later. Gotta use that for a lighter shade. So I'm gonna take some of this brown and go right here on the bottom. Just really thin, just kind of dusting it along my lash line, okay? If you get it too fat and you're like, whoa, that was too much, don't worry, because we're fixing this with concealer. But I just want to accentuate, whatever the word is, I want to do something to those bottom lashes. What's wrong with me today? It's early. I'm gonna smoke out my eyeliner just a little bit. So if you're like me and you feel like you can never get it perfect, this is a great way to just correct it a little bit. Then it's like, oh, that's so nice and smoky. It looks like you did that on purpose. You must be a makeup artist. That's fantastic. All right, I'm gonna get some mascara in here and then we're gonna talk about a lifting lash. Okay, got mascara on, and this lifting lash I'm gonna show you is just a half lash by Ardell. These are number 434, I believe, and you can see they're a tiny half lash, but you guys, they are different than other half lashes I have used because they don't have that fat, ugly black band that is virtually impossible to disguise. I hate that part. So I'm gonna show you how a little bit of a lift on your lashes is also going to contribute to that. So it's not all about these stripes on your face. So I'm gonna start with some of my BioLab eye serum. This is the Caffeine eye serum. This is really key for me, you guys. I can't stress enough how important this lightweight eye serum that has caffeine in it. You can get it from the link in the description, but whatever your favorite caffeine eye serum is fine. But I like to put it right under my eyes, and sometimes I mix it directly in with my concealer. It just depends if I'm using a liquid or a cream, how I use it, and I'll use it several times during the day if I feel like it. But when I use it with concealer, it really keeps it luminous and lightweight, and it helps it last longer without so much dang creasing, you guys. So I've got a Tarte cream concealer here. So we're gonna go to the cream side, and I'm going to use this right here and then along here. So I know you've probably seen these techniques where they draw the line all the way down to the nose. I'm not gonna do that because I don't wanna highlight this right here. Especially I have large pores right there. I don't wanna add a bunch of product and have like this crazy highlighted spot. But I do wanna do it across my cheek like this, really lightweight. I'm gonna do it right here to accentuate my jawline, and even a little bit right here. Okay, now I will blend it down a little bit, but I don't want a bunch of product right there. It looks really good when they do it on camera and they're filtered, and I'm not saying everybody's filtered and lying and all these things, but when I see my skin up close and it's accentuating pores, I'm like, yeah, never mind. So I have a little fluffy concealer brush by Real Techniques, and I'm just gonna go in and start on this inner corner, hitting the side of my nose where my glasses are gonna wreck it anyway, so I like to set that in. And now sharpening up that eyeliner. And now I'll just begin to blend this into the blush lightly. Highlighting the side of my brow, because remember that contour came to here. So the highlight is now out this way rather than just a line under my eye. We're highlighting this whole area and bringing it out. And it's blending really pretty and soft because I already prepped it with my serum. And you can see now, yes, I am bringing the lighter shade down, but so lightweight. Now we'll go ahead and blend this. I do want to use a little bit bigger brush for that area. So I'll go back to what I was using as a foundation brush. Let's check it out. Looking good. Softening it up just a little bit with a larger brush. Now I'm gonna take the brush that I have blush on and just blend some of it back in soft. This is a real soft velvety blush, so it comes right back in easy. It's not a really like hard wax-based cream that you have to really blend hard. It looks really good. I keep looking in the bigger mirror to make sure I have it done right, because I'm like, wow, this is looking really pretty. And you can use pink blush, whatever you like. Now sculpting it up just a little bit more. I want it to come higher. Really, really pretty. I love it. Now I'm going to go ahead and use the liquid concealer. So on this side, I've done primer, foundation, powder, contour, and blush. Of course, then I did my eyes, but now let's go to mixing my BioLab eye serum with the liquid concealer. Okay, got a nice bright shade. You don't have to go this bright if you don't want to. Do, you know, whatever level of brightening that you like. Maybe you like it to blend a little bit better, and that's okay. So I'm mixing these two together on the back of my hand, just mixing that serum right in there. Inner corner, outer corner, same area. You can see how this is like a little more, almost like translucent. And I'll do that lifting. This is very easy. It just cuts right through. It's very lightweight. Now bring it right here like I did on the other eye. Make sure I've got them going up at the same angle. That's really important too. You don't want to be lopsided. Okay, I'm gonna grab a little bit more and go along my jawline. And pull it up. And bring it in right here to lift this area. Since this is thinner consistency, I can get it to blend into the powder much easier. Now I'll take this foundation brush just to blend again. And I really love them both. But let's get the lashes on that I just showed you and some lips and talk about the difference. All right, I've got that little tiny half lash here in my lash applicator tool, and I'm just gonna pop it right on the outer corner. Right at the lash line where I've got my eyeliner, because that helps disguise that tiny little lash band. Make sure it's on really good. And they're so little and delicate, I can just go in and shove them on there with my finger just to make sure it's good and attached. All right, let's get the other side, and then we'll put a little bit of mascara on them just to bring a little bit of drama. Okay, I've got both lashes on. You can see they're just kind of peeping out the sides there, kind of that Cindy Lou Who effect. And I'm just gonna use a lightweight waterproof mascara, because I don't want, like, you know, fiber mascara or something that's gonna clump or build a lot of volume. I just wanted to add a little bit of drama to these little false lashes. I rarely put mascara on my falsies, but these are so tiny that I like to add a little bit to them. Make sure my lash is blending in really nice too. All right, that looks actually perfect. As I keep messing with it. Do you guys ever do that? It looks good and you just gotta keep messing with it. I don't know what the deal is. All right, let's do a great lip liner. I'm gonna use this Raisin shade by NYX. And let's do a little bit of a lip contour. overlining, of course. Okay, and the bottom. Totally overlined the bottom. Now going in this way. Because this is a pretty dark liner for me. You guys know I like my nudes. My daughter's like, Mom, I just like the darker shades on you better. I'm like, I know, but this is what I like. I just love those super nude pinks on myself, even though I know it may not be the best choice. Maybe something looks a little better, is more flattering, but sometimes I just don't care. I like what I like. It's easy to manage. So I'm putting my favorite lipstick right in the middle, pink, the perfect fit. Gonna blend it in. Leaving it light and bright in the middle. Let's get it with a little bit of lip plumping jelly. To add shine and moisture. Now I saved the powder till the very last because I wanted to show you something. You can powder before your lipstick, it's okay. But I want to show you something at the very end. Let me get a little bit more of that Graftobian powder. You can see how fine this stuff is. Just shaking it out, shaking it everywhere. Like me in the car. All right, so I'm just gonna press here and here in the middle. Now, I haven't powdered the cream side at all yet. Gonna look up at the ceiling lightly. You know I don't like to powder under my eyes, but this is hardly anything on this Real Techniques brush. So fluffy at the ends. It just allows for such a nice lightweight dusting. And bring it on down. Bring it on down. All right, let's let the hair out and see what's going on around here. Get some setting spray before I bring the hair all the way down. I'll go ahead and use the Milani Make It Last. That works really good with cream too, a really good long wear setting spray. And look what I found. I had lost my fan, of course. I thought I left it in Las Vegas. Ordered 6 more to replace this one, just in case I ran out again or lost another one or something happened. And of course I found it right after they were delivered. You know how it is. But the way I like to throw that thing, it's probably best I have someone back up, you know? All right, let's add a little body into this super clean hair. What is the deal? My hair is never this clean. Okay, and especially if I'm doing some type of lifting technique, I really like to tuck one side behind my ear. You don't have to do that, but I like to show off the cheekbone that I've created that I did not have previously. This looks good. All right, probably could perfect the hair a little bit. I know I've got some weird things going on here, but it's kind of cute, like whatever. It's not that big of a deal because it's gonna get wrecked soon anyway. I throw my hair around so much. All right, let's get it together here. Let's get it together. All right, you guys, what do you think? Look at the difference of the two sides. You can see they look just as nice. I've even got 2 different shades of blush on. Still coming together really well. But I don't know if you can see the difference in the cream that we took more time to sculpt. the powder that was just kind of a quick and easy dusting. I feel like the cream side is a little more dramatic. It's got some more color, but both equally beautiful. So I hope that you see today that you can really go with whatever your preference is, still creating the same beautiful sculpted, lifted, facelift makeup look. And it can be simple, it can be complicated, really whatever you're in the mood for. Let me do a teeth check. All right, friends, thank you so much for joining me here on my channel. I hope you know that I love and appreciate you so very much. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and don't forget to check out the members only area that you can join for as little as $2.99 a month. Please know that I love you so very much, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye, everyone.